Hey everyone, welcome back to Old Guy Firewood. Um, Glad you're here. If it's your first time, thanks for coming. If you're coming back, I appreciate it. If you go ahead and hit that like and subscribe button now, I certainly would appreciate it. And then when I have future videos, you'll be notified and you can come in and take a look. But today we're going to talk a little bit about bundling firewood. And I'm going to use the John's Welding bundler, and I want to talk a little bit about some of the business aspects of it and how you might sell your services to convenience stores and gas stations and so on. So with that said, I'm going to take you a little walk around the setup here, and we'll get to bundling. I normally have my bundler and firewood totes set up inside my shop, so I can work in there when it's raining, work in there when it's cold in the winter. But it's such a beautiful day here today in North Carolina that I moved a couple totes outside, brought the bundler out, and set up out here at the edge of the wood yard. And I think that it's just so nice out. I'm going to enjoy bundling outside. So with that, I'll give you a little bit of a look at what's going on here. As I said, I normally have my totes set up in the shop next to the bundler. I use IBC totes to split into and season the wood in them, and then take them right in to the shop and have them ready next to the bundler. I got the John's Welding bundler here. I've been real pleased with this bundler. I've had it now for, I guess, a couple years, but it's a manual hand crank model, but got a crank here, turns the pulley, turns the bundling mechanism, wraps the logs, and we'll show you how that all works. I've added a little holder over here for my labels that go inside each bundle. I'll show you how that works. But it's definitely worthwhile bundling wood. I do quite a bit of bulk sales too, but there's a much higher profit margin in the bundled wood. And we'll talk about that in a little bit. A lot of questions come up when people ask about making bundles. And first of all, what kind of equipment do you need? What kind of wrap do you use? Do you put them in bags? Do you wrap them with a clear wrap? What gauge wrap? What size? What size bundle? 3/4 foot, cubic foot, and so on. And those are all questions that you need to kind of decide for yourself and decide for your market. The other question that comes up is, well, where do you sell them? How do you sell them? Probably one of the most common answers to that is on a roadside stand. If you've got property around your house on the street or on the highway, or you can put a stand at a friend's house or somewhere that's a good location where it gets a lot of traffic and people see it. That always works out well. The other thing is you can go on Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist and put an ad up. And the other thing is, of course, selling to convenience stores, gas stations, grocery stores, and having them resell it at a retail price. You sell to them at a wholesale price, and that's what I chose to do. But people ask, how do you approach a store owner and talk to them about selling bundles? And it's really pretty easy. If you can get to the right person and get them to give you 5 minutes of their time, it just makes sense for them to do it. If you think about it, if you put yourself in the shoes of a convenience store owner or a small grocery store owner, everything that they sell, all the products they sell, require floor space or shelf space. A lot of the things have expiration dates. There's turnover and waste on things that go past expiration dates. They have to refrigerate some things. They have to stock the shelves. They have to order their supplies. They have to restock the shelves. And when I went and talked to this guy that I'm dealing with now, and it's the same approach I would use with others, I basically said to him, if I could provide you a product that your customers would like to be able to buy, and it didn't cost you any floor space or any shelf space, you didn't have to refrigerate it, it didn't have an expiration date, you didn't have to stock it, you didn't have to restock it, you didn't have to handle it at all. The only thing you had to do was scan a barcode when the customer made a purchase at the time of checkout. Would that be something that you'd be interested in? And any businessman who has a business like that is going to realize that that's a no-brainer. It doesn't spoil. It doesn't take up any space in my store. It doesn't have to be refrigerated. I don't have to stock it. I don't have to touch it. All I have to do is scan a barcode and take the customer's money. And that's basically what I'm doing at that location with bundles. I built a couple wooden racks that I put the bundles in. I drive by there a couple times a week. When they get low, I just bring more. I restack the rack. I give them an invoice and they write me a check. It's that simple. And they never ever have to touch it. They've called me, I think, twice in the last year just to say that they had a run on bundles and it was a little bit low, and I immediately restocked them. So you know, if you can get to the right person and talk to them and explain to them that you're going to offer them a product they can sell at a good profit, and they're not going to have to handle it or touch it or do anything with it or give up any of their valuable in-store space, there's no reason that they wouldn't try it. And the other thing is, you can tell them, let's try it. If it doesn't work, you just tell me you don't want to do it anymore. I'll come get my stuff and I'll refund you for anything that hasn't sold. I actually did that with this customer that I had. And after a week, he called me back and he said, hey, the bundles are going like crazy and we'd like to have you bring some more. And he's been a great customer ever since. So that's, I think, a good approach. I like to set my IBC totes up close to my bundler. I've got some cherry and some ash here that's all split and ready to be bundled. I use the John's Welding bundler, and it comes with two sizes here. This is the 12-inch, which is a 12-inch square, and then it also comes in a 10-inch. Since your wood is 16 inches long, you really don't need to fill it all the way to the top to get a bundle of 1 cubic foot. You actually fill it 9 inches up, and I've made a little mark on each side here and here, so I fill it to that level. I use 90 gauge cast stretch wrap, not the blown stretch wrap. The blown, they say, is extremely noisy, and it's not as clear or transparent as the cast wrap. So if you put a label inside, you definitely want the cast wrap. But yeah, as I say, I fill this rack up to the little mark on the side right there, and that gives me exactly a 1 cubic foot bundle. So let's get set up, and we'll go ahead and make some bundles. I'm going to do a little mix of ash and cherry. Put a little bit of cherry wood in here. I like to mix maple and even a little poplar in sometimes. Poplar makes really good bundle wood. Dries quickly, burns good, great for a campfire or fire pit. Okay, pretty well filled up there to that mark. Pull this off, hold it on here, crank the crank. I usually do 2 turns, put my label in, go 2 more, and then simply cut it off. there you go. Nice bundle, good size. Folks will often ask, well, there's a lot of labor involved in bundling compared to bulk sales. Do you really feel that you make enough extra to justify the amount of labor you have to put into it? And if you do the math on it, you figure that in a cord of wood there's 128 cubic feet, so theoretically you should be able to get 128 bundles out of a cord at 1 cubic foot each. I'll tell you, in reality that's not true, because you have some crooked pieces and some odd pieces that just don't fit, so there's some waste and they go back into my bulk wood pile. So if you figure that out at an average wholesale price of $5 a bundle, which is what I sell them for, you're looking at $600 a cord for the wood bundled, versus maybe, you know, $350 a cord for bulk sales. So an additional $250 per cord is substantial, and the amount of time that goes into it and the delivery and so on, well, delivery's delivery, whether you do bulk or bundles, but the amount of time you take to wrap it, the expense of the wrap, which is figures out to be about 17 cents a bundle, yeah, it's definitely worth it. This order that I've got to fill today is for 20 bundles. Just need to go fill the rack up at that grocery store. So we'll go ahead and get that 20 wrapped. And then as soon as I take them off the bundler, they go right onto the pallet on my forklifts, and when I'm done bundling, all I have to do is drive my tractor over to the truck, put the pallet in the back, and they're ready to be delivered. Man, this cherry is so dry. You can feel it. You pick it up, it's just as light as could be. It's going to be some good burning wood. Ash and cherry is a good mix. Ash is my primary wood for bundles, but sometimes I have a little cherry like I do now. I quite often have maple and sometimes a little bit of poplar. And those are also great to mix in because they dry quickly, they burn well. Great campfire wood. I'll speed it up a little bit now and finish this 20 bundle load, and then when I go ahead and edit the video, I'll put a note in there as to just how long it took to do these 20 bundles. tell you, I have nothing but good things to say about this bundler. It's been great for me. It paid for itself the first 6 months I had it. There's a lot of bundlers out there. There are 2 or 3 other that are similar to this one. Hudson makes one, a manual bundler. It's very similar. There's an Amish group out of Michigan, I think, that makes a bundler very similar to this. And then there are several of the same companies make electric bundlers, which to me just, you know, it adds another $1,000 to the cost of the bundler, and I really don't see where it's a whole lot quicker. I mean, once I get my wood in here and it's ready to wrap, I think I probably turn that handle just as quickly as an electric bundler would. I mean, you know, here it is. If you're an electric bundler, you're going to do the same thing. Then you're going to step on a pedal, and it's going to go around like that instead of manually cranking it. And if you're going to put a label in, you got to take your foot off the pedal and stop it, put your label in, and start it again. So I just don't see the advantage to going with that extra expense. Okay, there it is. 20 bundles wrapped on the pallet, ready to move. And like I said, when I edit this video, I'll go ahead and figure out exactly how long it took us to, or took me to bundle that 20 bundles. Guys, I think that'll do it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you like that sort of thing, firewood, cutting wood, bundling wood, selling wood, cords, half cords, face cords, chainsaws. If you like that sort of thing, go ahead and push that subscribe button. And I've got several videos up now that I'd love to have you take a look at. And please leave a comment below. I'd love to hear what you think about the video, anything I could do to improve it, topics that you might like to see me cover, things you might like to see me do in my videos. Leave a comment. I'll reply to every comment, and hopefully if there's something that there's a consensus you'd like to see, I can go ahead and make a video about it. But at this point, as I always say at the end of my videos, and it doesn't matter whether you're young or whether you're old, the best advice I can give you is to keep moving. See you on the next one.